Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shime. If you're not, thank you for tuning back in. If you're an OGT gang member and you return every time I go ghost, you are the real A1 from day one, and I appreciate you. And I apologize you guys for going MIA on you guys, for going off the grid, but your girl is back on the streets. As you can read by the title, today I'm going to be telling you guys about how baby Elijah came into the world. I'm gonna be giving you guys my birth and delivery story. I thought it would only be fair to come back with, the biggest life update of life. Having a baby. What? I had a baby. I had a baby. Whoa. It still hasn't sunk into me that a baby came out of my body, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be telling you guys about how I gave birth. If you have not subscribed to the channel, if you're not part of the T gang yet, hit that subscribe button because it is all love here, you guys. Comment down below, tell the newcomers that it's all love here. I thought it would only be fair to start the story off by talking about my pregnancy. So I had a very, very good pregnancy, I would say, compared to like other pregnancies that I've witnessed and not experienced, it was my first pregnancy. Other pregnancies that I've witnessed and seen and heard about. The only bad thing or the only scary part that happened in my pregnancy was in my first trimester, and I'm gonna try to insert like clips and videos here and there, like along the story, so you guys can get a feel, get into the moment with me. So yeah, in my first trimester around December, so I felt pregnant around October I think I found out I was pregnant. Yeah. So in December, my first trimester, I think I was about 7 weeks. I fell really, really ill. I thought it was just a stomach bug, but one day I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't move. It felt like my stomach was like twisting and turning. So we went to the doctor.
Hey, how are you?
The doctor said that it was my intestines or something to do with my intestines, something to do with my digestive tract wasn't working properly. And during the examination, he said he didn't really feel the baby or something like that. So he's like, we don't recommend sonars this early on in pregnancy, but I am going to recommend you to get a sonar because I am concerned about the viability of your pregnancy. So when he said those words, you guys, my heart dropped. It literally dropped, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just found out I'm pregnant, so excited. Now the doctor's telling me like, I'm concerned about your pregnancy. So obviously anyone is gonna feel, it's heartbreaking to hear that. So anyway, we got to Roman Catholic. I think it was a couple of days later, I'm not exactly sure. Got into the sonar room, I was so nervous. I remember this day so vividly, like waiting so anxiously in the waiting room, getting to the changing room, taking off your clothes, putting on the gown, and like as soon as the guy put that thing on my stomach, like he was looking, he puts it on my stomach and he's checking, and my eyes are just on the screen. He's like, and then I look at him like, what do you mean and then he like digs a little deeper and he's like, then he goes a little lower, and then we see like a flickering. Viku was in the room with me, obviously. We see like just like a flicker, and then Viku's eyes lit up, and I'm like, is that the... And then Viku's like, I think so. And then the doctor is like, not the doctor, the radiologist, he's like, so you see that flickering, that means your baby's still alive, there's still a heartbeat, your baby's fine.
So what do you think?
Good. The baby's still in there.
Heart beating and all?
Heart beating and all. 7 weeks, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Due date, expected delivery date is 28 July. exciting.
Very exciting.
So I was really happy that the baby was fine. So that was the only time that we really had like a hiccup during the pregnancy. And during that time, my friends and my family, they were all so supportive. I remember our friends, Buddy and Julia, our pastor, they brought us a meal. Our pastor brought us dinner, you guys. These are all the meds I'm on. That's beside the point though. So, I just want to see. Oh my gosh, oh wow, this smells divine. Oh my gosh, this smells really nice, you guys. They're literally the sweetest. The sweetest. Thank you, Julia and Buddy. Oh, look at how yummy, you guys. Yummy. We'll probably be eating this for the next couple of days. I remember my sisters, like they came over to like cook for us and bring food, and like my mom and everyone, they all just like, you know, they all just came together to come support and stuff like that, which I was so grateful for, because it is a really hard time. So yeah, anyway, that was my pregnancy, and obviously I had planned to have a natural vaginal delivery. Unfortunately, I had to have a C-section because of details I can't disclose at the moment, you know, but I had to deliver via C-section. So the day I found out about my delivery date, that's actually a really funny story. At my 37-week check, we went in for our like monthly check. We would go into the doctors every month just to see if the baby was doing okay. So at 37 weeks, I think I was 37 going on 38, that time we had gone a little late, so it was 37 weeks and a couple of days. We went into the check just to be told that it was a Wednesday, so that Friday he said that we're gonna have to schedule your C-section for Friday. Initially he said my C-section would be scheduled for Thursday, but my facial expression apparently like you know, made him change his mind. So he's like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to operate tomorrow. And then I'm like, wait, what? I'm not ready for this. Like I thought I had like 2 more weeks to go, you know. And then he's like, okay, fine, we'll give you a day to just prepare yourself, so we'll do it on Friday. So then I remember being like so pregnant, walking around Grove Mall, just running around, you know, getting the last of my things that I needed for the baby. I was so pregnant, you guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it was so bad. Yo, I don't recommend being that pregnant and walking around the mall. I don't even know who I thought I was. So we got everything we needed. Friday morning, bright and early, woke up, prepared the baby stuff. We were supposed to be there at 11 o'clock. We got there at 11. We came on time. We were very punctual. But actually the day before that, we had a hospital tour, so we had to go in and go register at Lady Pohamba. So I delivered my baby at Lady Pohamba Hospital. So we went to go fill in some paperwork. They gave us like a little hospital tour. They showed us where we'll be staying, showed us the theater room, where the babies stay and stuff like that. They explained to us that at Lady Pohamba, which is really nice that I think about it now, but back then I'm like, oh my gosh, why would they do that? So at Lady Pohamba, they want the mom and the baby to be together at all times. So from the moment you give birth, they don't take the baby away and put them in that little cubicle. Because I remember when I was younger, when our friends and family would give birth, like we would go see the baby like through a window, and then we would go see the mom. At Pohamba, they don't do that. Like the baby is with the mom at all times, which now I really appreciate. Back then I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with the baby alone? So gave us the hospital tour. They explained to us all the policies. They told us that Vico would only be able to stay with me the first night, and then after that he'll just have to come and go. So my C-section was recovery time, they estimated from Friday to Monday, so I would be discharged the Monday. So I went in on Friday morning, bright and early. checked in the night before. The baby wasn't moving as much in my belly, so we called the doctor at 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. and we were like, the baby isn't moving, like he's just moving, like he was maybe just moving like once every couple hours, so he wasn't really moving. So we called the doctor, we told him like the baby isn't moving much, like what should we do? He's like, yeah, no, it's fine, because you're in labor, the fetal movement is reduced, but if you as the mother feel worried, just come in. So they also really rely on like the mother and like instincts and like how you're feeling, you know. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. I like, in my spirit I feel like it's okay, we can just wait till tomorrow. So we waited till the next day. We got there immediately. They put like monitors on my belly just to see if the heartbeat was there. Thankfully the heartbeat was still there. Filled in some more paperwork. You guys, there's a lot of paperwork that goes into giving birth. I wasn't even aware. So visiting time was only from 3 to 4 or something like that. But as soon as I got to the hospital, I just see my mom like walking in, and I'm asking her like, how did you get in? So my mom like found a way to sneak herself into the hospital, into my room, up until I was rolled into the delivery room, which gave me so much, you guys, so much peace and so much, you know, calm, because I was so like anxious and nervous. Obviously you're anxious and nervous, you're about to get cut up, you know. So she found a way to get past the nurses and the doctors, and I don't know how she got in, but she is a nurse herself and she was wearing her nurse's uniform. So somehow, some way, she found a way to get herself into my room. So she was with me up until I was rolled into the theater room. Vipu was with me as well. So they hooked monitors to my stomach. We did the paperwork, and then at around 1:45, the anesthesiologist, he comes in. That's when I knew it was about to go down. He's like, hi, I'm Dr. Who. I'm gonna be performing your epidural. So an epidural is where they inject you in the back, so you're numbed from the bottom down. That was my biggest fear going in. So I was asking him all these questions, and I'm like, okay, so if I move, am I gonna get paralyzed? If I do this, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to sit? So while I'm asking him all those questions, he looks at me, he's like, okay, listen to me, forget everything you know about epidurals and just focus on what I'm telling you now. We're gonna lead you throughout the whole thing. All you need to do is follow our instructions. Just forget everything you know. That kind of calmed me down. Not really, but it kind of did, you know, give me more insight. So then my doctor came in, our GP, the one that was with us through the whole process. It's like, are you ready? You know, what, we're about to do this. I'm like, no, I'm not ready, but let's go. So as I'm getting rolled in, I start like shivering, anxiety, you know, like, oh, like shaking. So everyone's looking at me like, are you getting cold? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Are you nervous? No, I'm fine. I'm saying no, I'm fine, but like, you know, I'm literally physically, I'm shaking and shivering. So as soon as I get into the hospital, the theater room, they put like, obviously they cover my bottom parts, I don't see what's going on, and they put like a heater and a blanket on top of me. So I stopped shivering because they thought I was getting cold. That didn't help. I still kept shivering. The epidural process, the part that I was dreading the most. My doctor, he explained to me what was going to happen. Anesthesiologist was behind me. Doctor said that I should just hold on to his waist and my head should be like this on his chest, and then another nurse would come push my stomach in, right? So then they did like a trial run. So they're like, okay, let's practice how you're gonna do this. So I hold his waist, put my head on his chest, and the nurse pushes my stomach, and then she lets go, and then they're like, okay, so you need to stay like that until we're done. You guys, there's nothing in the world that is more uncomfortable than sitting in that position. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, feels like you can't breathe. So I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to stay like this for a while? So they're like, okay, this is just practice round, just stay like that, stay like that, stay like that. And then we had to go again for now the real thing. So I was under the impression that I'm just gonna get one injection and we're gonna be done. So we did the thing, held his waist, put my head against his chest. Nurse came to push my stomach in, and then they're like, okay, we're just gonna administer some spirits. It's gonna be cold, just a warning, it's gonna be cold. They do the spirits. Did your girl not flinch? So I was like, whoo. And then everyone in the room looked at me. And then they're like, okay, so you see, that is what you can't do. You can't do that when we do the epidural. Do you hear me? You can't do that. And I'm like, Shimi, what's wrong with you? It's just spirit. It's just spirit. Then I'm like, okay, fine, get it together, get it together. So I got it together, you guys. I got it together. And then we did it again. Arched my back. They put in the injection. You guys, it's not even painful, name. That part isn't painful. It's just like the mental state, like just like thinking that if you move, you could be paralyzed for life. That's what was killing me. So they administer the injection, and then they're like, okay, so now we're gonna put in the second injection, the second needle, not injection, sorry, a needle. And then I'm like, wait, what? Second needle? But by that time you already have a needle in your back. You can't move or anything. You just have to say okay and cup on. So I'm like, okay, fine. They put in the second needle. I'm like, okay, it's done. And then they're like, now we're gonna administer the medicine. And I'm like, wait, what? There's a third step. So then like I just feel like a burning sensation in my back. It wasn't painful, it was just like burning. And then all of a sudden, like I feel like lightning, just like a lightning in my right leg. Like it felt like lightning in my leg. That's the only way I can explain it. And then they take out the needle, and then all of a sudden I'm just seeing like my legs being gathered, being put on another bed. Like after that, like it just moved so fast. Because there's only a certain amount of time the epidural lasts in your body, or else it's gonna wear off and you're still gonna be in surgery. So everything was moving fast. My legs were up in the air, and then they're like, we're gonna administer a catheter now. It's gonna help with like when you urinate. And I'm like, oh, okay, when are you gonna do that? And then they're like, it's already done. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't feel one thing. After the catheter, that's when Viku came in. He came in with like scrubs and like a cap and everything. He looked so cute. So he was just sitting next to me holding my hand. So he was like watching, and I'm telling him, Viku, don't watch, you're gonna get traumatized. So he's there watching. So they're saying you're gonna feel like pulling and pushing and pressure, but you're not gonna feel any pain. And that's exactly what I felt. I just felt like pulling, and like I felt like they were doing this on my stomach. This is what I felt like, they were doing this on my stomach. So they open it. So they're doing that, and I'm looking at Viku. Viku's just looking like this. And I'm like, did they open it? And then Viku's like, mm-hmm. And I'm seeing like suction bags on the side, like just blood, tissues of blood like being changed and replaced. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then finally they're like, okay, so we're just gonna push on your stomach so the baby can come out. And then I felt a big push, like a huge push on like the top part of my stomach. And then because like and then I heard like a cry, like a yeah once, and then like a pause, and then yeah twice, and then the third yeah. So like he cried 3 times. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional thinking about this all over again. It was so precious. So like he cried 3 times, and after that Viku like went to him, and then they went to go clean him up and everything. And then like in this like little bloody towel, they bring him over to me, and then they're like, here's your baby. Obviously I couldn't hold the baby because my arms are like sort of strapped to the table, but they're showing him to me and like putting his face on my chest, like in his little face. He was doing this. He was like he was like kind of sucking on his tongue. His eyebrows were lifted, his eyes were closed. He was like this. The cutest little thing. And then Viku actually got to do skin to skin with him first. So they took him away. They were closing me up. Closing me up felt like forever, you guys. I couldn't wait to get out and go to my baby. So like it took forever. I remember being rolled out at like 2:40 something, and we came in at like 1 o'clock. That's when the surgery started, was at 1 o'clock. The surgery didn't take long, like getting the baby didn't take long. It was like the closing up that took long. And then I felt like a huge so they did something that took my breath away. I'm like, oh, what was that? Then they're like, oh no, sorry, we just put your womb back in. And I'm just like, wait, my womb was out of my body? What is this? Birth, you guys, is crazy every time I think about it. And then they took me off of the table that they were operating on. When I'm looking back at the table, you guys, it's like a bloody mess, like so much blood and fluid. But anyway, they rolled me back to the room. When I got back to the room, Viku was sitting with the baby on his chest. They were doing skin to skin. And then I got my baby. I got to do some skin to skin too. And then I didn't realize that it's now 3 o'clock. Visiting times at 3 o'clock. So as I'm doing skin to skin with my baby, everyone walks in. Like, all of my family walks in. My parents, because parents, my brothers and sisters, superheroes, they all walk in. Like, I swear, like Elijah was naked when he met his mamas and tates and aunties and like all of his people. He was naked because we were still doing skin to skin, because like I got out of theater around the time of visiting time. So yeah, and then recovery after that was pretty good. Now that I think about it, it was very, very good. The service was impeccable. The nurses helped me breastfeed because I was having a hard time breastfeeding. They like gave me a whole, like it felt like a course, because they would come in every day, give me tips. There was even this nurse that helped me demonstrate with my hand pump. The baby slept with me 24/7. Like they never took the baby away from me. They only took him, when did they actually take him? I can't remember if they actually took him, because they did everything in front of me. His shots they did in front of me. When he went to go get his first bath, I was fit enough to walk, to go with the nurse. At Pohamba, they let the baby like bond with the mom, so I slept with the baby. I fed him, or I tried to feed him with my milk that wasn't coming in, but eventually my milk did come in. So yeah, that is my birth story. It was so special. It was so special. That is it for my birth story. Elijah is with us now. I will explain to you guys in another video why we chose the name Elijah Vikohonga Maindo, but that is his full name is Elijah Vikohonga Maindo. That's our firstborn's name. We can explain to you guys in another video why that name. Yeah, we are beyond blessed. We're so grateful. He is 1 month old now. He'll be 2 months in 2 weeks time, so he is growing by lightning speed. Like he's growing really fast, and we're so blessed. He's so precious. Urira, he cries. He doesn't cry that much, but he cries. But he is the sweetest little boy. Honestly, you guys, he is like, there's no other word that I can say other than precious. He looks like me, if you guys are wondering. He looks like me, but sometimes he looks like Viku. Viku will say he looks like Viku. I will say he looks like me. A lot of people will say he looks like me, but other people will also say he looks like Viku. So yeah, you guys can take it from there. But sometimes I look at him and I'm like, why, you're really your father's child. But like sometimes I'll say like, yeah man, you know, I got some of these genes. So that is it for today's story time. Comment down video suggestions down below, because we are back on these YouTube streets. I'm so glad to be back. And if you are not subscribed yet, please do hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.